Hello, dear student. This lecture discusses the philosophy of the Renaissance and the Reformation. Compared to other eras in philosophy, the Renaissance takes a short period of time. But it was during this period that qualitative changes took place in the thinking of mankind. Key philosophical problems began to be interpreted definitely. What kind of qualitative changes took place during the Renaissance? Firstly, the human essence began to be perceived definitely. Man has now become a key link in the universe. Each person began to be perceived as an individual person. No man is not only a sinful essence, but also a creative person. The philosophical body of a person is perceived definitely. During this period, an active study of natural science begins. Now, the human body is not only the source of sin, but the body is a reflection of the universe. During this period, the concept of private ownership was born. Capitalist relations are emerging. All this affects socio-political views. Anthropocentrism influenced the formation of humanism in philosophy, art, and in general thought through the culture of European countries. Humanism can be called the hallmark of the Renaissance. The development of natural science influenced a new flourishing of natural philosophy. Changes in the economic, political way of life influenced the formation of socio-political doctrines. It is important to note that new thinking was taking shape during the Renaissance, but it was still closely connected with religion, with the church. And even if a person was viewed as a creative person, this was associated with a religion, meaning that is, man is the pinnacle of divine creation. The birth of humanism is associated with Italy in the 14th century. In the 14th, 16th century, humanism developed in countries such as Germany, as Netherlands, England, France, Switzerland, and others. The birth of humanism is associated with the work of Petrarca, Montaigne, Valla, Mirandola, and others. The main representatives of the natural philosophy of the Renaissance are called Nicholas of Cusan, Copernicus, Galileo Galilei, Giordano Bruno. The natural philosophy of the Renaissance has a pantheistic characteristic. God is not perceived somewhere far away, but in nature itself. Nature is the reflection of God in the world. During this period in the European consequences, the picture of the world was changing. Society gets acquainted with the heliocentric picture of the world. If for many centuries the Earth was perceived as a flat surface and it was believed that peace on Earth is the center of the world. Now the picture is changing. It turns out that the Earth is not the center of the whole world, and one of the planets of the solar system. This was shocking news for European society at the time. In European philosophy, the heliocentric picture of the world is associated with the name of Nicole Copernicus, and his contribution to science is called the Copernican Cup. Scientific research of Copernicus was continued by Giordano Bruno. He suggested that there could be an infinite number of solar systems like ours. The Church was not yet ready to accept this assimilation. Bruno was burned at the stake by the decision of the Church court. He was accused of hereticism. Galileo Galilei, philosopher and mathematician, follower of the teachings of Copernicus and Giordano Bruno. He is considered the founder of experimental mathematics. Nikolai Kuzansky, thinker who made significant contributions to pantheistic teachings in the philosophy of Renaissance. The socio-political doctrine of this time was significantly influenced by economic and political events. Outstanding representatives Thomas More, Tommaso Campanella, Niccolo Machiavelli. Basically, socio-political doctrines during this period developed in a utopian mood. Later, many thinkers of the Renaissance were put on trial by the Church, the Inquisition. Reformation, a very important event in the Renaissance. The representatives of the Reformation were against the unlimited power and work of the Church, believed that everyone is equal before God. The Reformation begins in Germany. It is associated with the teachings of the former Catholic priest Martin Luther. Martin Luther first questioned the unlimited authority of the Church and the Padre. In general, the philosophy of the Renaissance is a short period in history, but he made it possible to rethink many questions. The emergence of individualism in philosophy, art, religion, in social, political, and economical relations is associated with the philosophy of the Renaissance. During this period, masterpieces of world culture were created. In more detail about these issues, we can discuss with you in practical classes. Thank you. See you. Goodbye.